Good morning, class. Today we are learning about racism and diversity. This is something that is and has become increasingly important. And it's important to understand that much of the basis of racism is unfounded and has no proof to back it up. This includes the belief that one race is genetically superior to another, when there is no scientific basis for this. The purpose of a class like this is to try to help us to deal fairly with all differences that you find in the human family. It is also a perspective that allows us to find explanations for why things are the way they are in terms of power, relationships, and issues of equality.
This seems like a stupid class. I don't see why we have to take it. It's pointless. I can't wait for this to be over. It's not like we're going to learn anything anyway.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, we could, but I doubt it.
So to start the lesson, some examples of racism are that it's easy to forget, despite what we see in mass media, there really isn't one Black or Latino or etc. community. They don't all come from low-income urban neighborhoods and aren't necessarily the first person in their families to complete college.
Well, why does it seem like that then?
Because that is what has been the accepted norm to portray those groups as.
But why can't they just start showing people how they actually are? It's not like it's hard.
You might think so, but it can be very hard to change the status quo. While we are shifting from that image, it seems to stick around because that's what society is familiar with. And as a group, people tend to be scared of change.
I guess that makes sense. I wouldn't really want to try to change something like that by myself.
Yeah, whatever.
Nowadays, we also have affirmative action to help level the playing field for people of different races. Also, through education about diversity and its benefits and racism and its impact, we have come to a place as a country where the barriers of institutionalized racism have started. These combined are why there is such a rise in the amount of people of color working the same jobs and going to the same schools as white people traditionally have. And all of this is why you're in this class today, to learn about things like this.
Well, that actually makes a lot of sense.
I definitely am gonna think twice next time I could be seen as being racist. I actually learned from this class.
There's racism everywhere you look, but racism is very prominent in the workplace. Let's take a look on how certain things can be racist during a job.
Thank you.
So what is your name and why are you applying for this position?
My name is John Jackson, and I'm applying for this job because I was recently...
Why did you get laid off? Are you?
No, sir. Times are tough.
Son, how many times have you?
Not been to jail.
Oh, I'm surprised. How many kids do you have?
I do not have any children.
Well, okay. I'll hire you at minimum wage. Okay.
Well, sir, I think that...
That'll be all. As you can see, this man was stereotyped by his employer. The boss asked him questions like, how many kids do you have and how many times have you been to jail? This man was put at minimum wage because he was a minority.
Hey Tommy, what makes you all so dumb?
Why?
He wasn't born here.
It's not my fault that I wasn't born here. I'm just as smart as them.
Hey Tommy, can I speak with you a moment?
Yeah, sure, what's up?
I was thinking about promoting you to supervisor.
No way, thank you so much,
Yeah, you've
sir.
been working really hard, and I don't want any other people in our business, if you know what I mean.
I understand, sir. I understand.
Here's another example of racism, on-the-job racism. Tommy and Bill were making jokes that weren't appropriate for their workplace. They degraded John, and that makes a poor working environment. Lastly, there's one more form of racism. This is where people of color are not promoted because of their color of their skin, not because of their performance. This is illegal and a bad decision by the employer. This is known as the glass ceiling, where workers can see the ladder, but they're never able to reach the top. All in all, we have seen many forms of racism on the workplace. From interviews to on the job to promotion, there's racism happening everywhere around us.
Go ahead.
Racism is seen all over the world, but one place it occurs often is Shelby, come sit by me. Okay. So how was your summer? Oh, so good.
Hey.
Oh, there's someone sitting here.
Oh, okay.
Racism in school can have multiple effects on the victim. First of all, when they don't feel accepted by others, they stress out and question their importance. Also, because they are worried about their appearance and reputation, they are distracted from school and might go to the extent of skipping class. School.
What are you doing? You're gonna be late for school.
Go ahead.
I'm not feeling good. I don't feel like going today.
What happened?
Go ahead.
Well, I feel like the other kids in my class don't like me because of my skin color.
Thank God that's done.
Are you finally done? You took forever to finish it. It only took me 20 minutes.
Yes, I'm finally done. Don't judge. I like to take my time reading.
Whatever. Okay, so now that we're all done applying, hopefully we all get accepted.
Hopefully.
Seriously, it would suck if we didn't.
We'll find out when we get our letter.
We've got 5 more applications that just came in online.
Darn this affirmative action policy, it totally makes my life that much harder to view applications.
At least it's for a good cause. Everyone is having a chance to further their education rather than one dominant race and gender.
I viewed this applicant's paperwork and I think that they should be accepted. What do you think?
Check our requirements. Yep, seeing that he's a good guy and a minority with good grades and so on, I suggest we accept him into our school.
What about this person? Female, minority, well balanced with athletics and academics, on top of holding officer jobs in clubs in the school government.
Wow, that's a load of things she does to occupy her time. Let me see. Yep, she meets our standards and that of affirmative action standards.
Well, now that that's over and done with, our job here is done.
Oh, sick. I got accepted. Sweet, same here.
Guess who else got accepted? This shit.
I didn't get in.
Dang, what the heck?
Affirmative action is the reason for it.
Ha, I guess you guys don't meet the criteria for the policy.
Well, at least they're taking it into consideration. I still think I should have gotten in, though.
So in my words, I would say affirmative action would be any policies, whether those are in admissions or another office, any work, I guess, that take into account a person's, I would say usually their
racial or ethnic background, but could also apply to socioeconomic, different cultural backgrounds as well that change the criteria regarding those students. Here at St. Martin's?
Yes.
In the admissions office, I couldn't quote it verbatim, but we don't look at race, cultural background, any of those things for an admission policy. We will mark it down just for statistics reporting. Diversity is important on campus, but that does not go into our admission decision. So we're not going to admit or deny a student in order to shape the class, but we request, if students are willing to divulge that information, we request it just for reporting back out on the other half once our class is made, but not for actually going into the class, if that makes sense. It really depends on the school, and I can't say because I'm not in those offices, but oftentimes schools will state in their policies whether or not they take any of that into account, or whether they have any particular scholarships for students of different backgrounds. For instance, there's American Indian Endowed Scholarship that's not run through us, but it's on our website because it's available, but it's not tied to our admissions policies. I would say legally, any school with government funding can't use any of those for admissions decisions. So I would say 99% of all schools, if not all of them, wouldn't have an affirmative action policy in place in their admissions office, at least on the books.